Superman Solar was a 2023 short fan movie that drew quite a decent buzz of attention when it was originally released. The creators behind this fan film basically wanted this movie to be remembered by the actual content on the film and the type of message that they wanted to spread. But if we're really being honest, all this movie was remembered by is by how the casting crew and director were just a little bit kind of racist and how freaking terrible of a film it was. I'm not sure if many of you remember, but about some time ago, I made a video on Spider-Man Lotus, another fan film that started getting attention around the same time as Superman Solar for also being a pretty racist and awful movie. And while the controversy with the Superman movie wasn't as huge as what went down with Spider-Man Lotus, I still think it's worth talking about in this video. Plus, Superman Solar as a movie is also much more worse than you can imagine Spider-Man Lotus ever was.
The main actor's acting is so atrocious, I almost cried. I cut it out of this, but I almost cried. I did.
Now, the reasoning behind why I brought up the existence of Spider-Man Lotus just a second ago in correlation with Superman Solar was because of the amount of relevance their controversies have amongst one another. Like, around the time that Spider-Man Lotus was dealing with the racist controversy, Superman Solar was also dealing with another racist controversy at the same time. Bro, I've seen people on the internet say that the director of Spider-Man Lotus actually co-signed and had a little bit of involvement with the production of Superman Solar, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I looked all over the internet for that and like I couldn't really find anything that backed up that statement. And since both movies were having controversies that came out basically around the same time and were somehow linked to one another, people online started to basically call this new collection of YouTube fan films the RCU, or just like the Racist Cinematic Universe for short. And when you look back at it, I'm not gonna lie, the whole story behind this is just so hilarious because the creators behind the Superman fan movie barely had anything super controversial that's worth raging over. It actually definitely feels like they got the short end of the stick in this whole thing. But to compare to all the bullshit that Spider-Man Lotus went through, it barely even compares if we're being real. The video I made months ago goes into way more detail if you're curious, but for a quick TLDR for the sake of this video, the creators and actors behind the Spider-Man Lotus movie were all exposed for just being racist as hell, bro. Like, the director behind the movie, Gavin Konop, had some crazy screenshots saying the N-word, just like edgy, cringe 14-year-old white kid DMs that he's writing as a grown-ass man. Like, the main actor who played Spider-Man was also caught saying some cringy shit too. Like, to make it even worse, the actor who plays Green Goblin was exposed for being interested in diddling kids. Like, the whole drama behind the production was just a mess, bro. So it really fucked up a lot of people's perceptions going into this fan film because they already had a pretty strong bias towards the people behind the creation of this movie. But also, isn't like the fan movie wasn't also like hella boring and pretty shit too. But if there was ever a hypothetical world where this controversy never happened, I have a strong feeling that about half of y'all niggas would have somehow found a way to glaze that dog shit. The controversy that circled Superman Solar wasn't nearly as huge though. I just find it funny how a lot of people just grouped it into the same boat as a Spider-Man fan film just because they released around the same time. Like, the drama that went on behind both movies feel like I'm comparing an edgy white kid who thought it was funny to say the N-word from time to time back in middle school to like the damn Ku Klux Klan, bro. Like, the only thing I could really find that would actually be considered like dirt or like drama against a Superman fan movie is that the whole casting crew are just like a bunch of Republicans, bro, which is already like 60% of modern America. So like, the fuck are we actually doing here, bro? Like, there's not really any hard evidence that would make me get all riled up and be like, oh my god, guys, like these guys are racist and they hate black people or like whatever. But I mean, I did find some screenshots of some of the casting members behind this movie like follow some very questionable Instagram pages. Like, for example, the actor who plays Superman in this movie follows a page on Instagram called The Typical Liberal, which is an account that's known to have like, let's say, very opinionated statements towards many social controversial topics. There's also another post I found where people on Twitter found the director of this movie, Andrew List's letterbox, and they basically posted 3 screenshots of the movies The Sound of Freedom, Get Out, and Us, where he rated The Sound of Freedom a 5 out of 5 stars and gave the 2 Jordan Peele movies a 2 out of 5 stars. And honestly, at this point when I saw this post, really felt like a bunch of people on Twitter started really grasping for straws to look for real things to shit on the cast behind Superman Solar, because I'm pretty sure The Sound of Freedom is about a movie that talks about the dangers of human and child trafficking and has like no racist shit in it. Like, what in the world do these 3 movies have anything to do with each other, bro? Plus, I don't think you can use this post and call Andrew List a racist after seeing all these reviews. Like, the guy gave the Batman a 3 out of 5 stars. Like, I don't even think he's really racist for real. He's just probably just retarded, not gonna lie. He also gave his own movie a 5 out of 5 stars and like, okay, cool. Like, I'm a guy who's all for being confident and like proud of your own work, but there's no actual way you believe your own movie is worth having a perfect rating when you have dialogue like this in it.
And the symbol on your chest looks like a target.
I need them to point their weapons at me and not at the people who can't defend themselves. And I want them to see me. I want everyone to see me.
Like, the nigga who plays Superman sounds like that one dude from the Zesty Pinocchio movie, bro.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I've got the whole world to see.
Before I go on and talk about the actual fan movie, I do want to preface first that Superman Solar was a crowdfunded fan movie that managed to raise $21,000 that went into the production of the movie out of a $25,000 goal. But for a movie that somehow got niggas to donate 20 bands of their hard-earned money into this fan movie, the final product really looks like the actual budget was only like $200. To compare that to Spider-Man Spider-Man Lotus, which is also a crowdfunded fan movie, that film managed to raise up to $100,000. And taking all racism aside, the cinematography is honestly like not the worst thing I've ever seen. So I'm guessing Superman Solar didn't have enough people who use the hard R in their daily vocabulary, or else they probably would have had a bigger budget, not gonna lie. The whole entire fan movie is about 30 minutes long, but they spent like 5 minutes on the credits alone, so it's really like a 25-minute movie, which I don't know, it's just gonna sound like ignorant of me, but for only 25 minutes of screen time, $21 feels like way more than enough to make your movie actually look good, or at least have like enough to buy a decent green screen for like 90% of your scenes, bro. Like, I won't be surprised if a majority of the budget went into the VFX scenes in this movie, because I'm gonna make fun of everything that this movie has to give out. The VFX scenes are not one of them. Those actually look pretty good, not gonna lie. The Superman suit though, what the hell is going on with the Superman suit, bro? Like, bro, the anatomy is just like all the way off. Like, why are his shoulders and arms like ginormous, bro? Like, bro, if I ever saw a nigga like this in real life, I would deadass think that you're injecting some type of illegal substance in your body. Cause why the fuck do you look like a Baki character right now, bro?
He's saving people from burning buildings. He's stopping car accidents. He's even stopping murder.
Like, bro, why is he standing like that? Aside from the Superman suit looking really wonky and stupid, I just think that the actor that they picked to actually play Superman was honestly like not really the best choice. All this shit I'm about to say is with all due respects towards Glenn Kill, who's a guy who plays Superman, but like in the poster that they used to promote this movie, he looks completely different to what we actually saw in the actual film. Like, the editing on this graphic alone is crazy. I'm well aware that it's just a fan movie at the end of the day, and like things shouldn't be 100% accurate to the original source material, but I don't really think a Clark Kent was supposed to be young and just in his second year of being Superman should have a receding hairline. Like, bro, what the fuck? And you can tell that the people behind this movie knew that the actor might have been too old to play Superman too. Cause tell me why in this scene, which was a flashback to Clark growing up, in an attempt to make him look younger, they basically make this nigga wear a backwards hat. Like, bro, what the fuck am I looking at right now? And not only is the actor old, but his voice also sounds so weird in this movie too. Like, bro, I hate to unironically use the word aura in a serious manner, but bro,
I've never faced anyone who could move me, let alone throw me. You've showed me today that I could bleed. I'm even more like humans than I thought.
like, bro, do you hear this nigga's voice right now, bro? I guess the whole point of this movie was to highlight on the more emotional side of Clark and how he lives life on Earth trying to relate to people knowing he himself isn't human. And they use a plot point surrounding the kid who's trying to self-delete himself, and it's up to Superman to convince him not to. And I honestly see the visual of what they're trying to work with when they wrote this scene, but the execution of the whole thing is actually like so goddamn bad. Like, it turns something that should be kind of heartfelt into some of the dumbest and funniest shit I've ever seen. The dialogue in this entire scene is so hilarious because these niggas sound so monotone. Like, you can actually tell that they've never even acted before in their entire lives. Like, at least the racist Spider-Man movies somehow managed to show how emotionally depressed everyone was. Every single actor in this scene seems like they don't even want to be there, bro. Even the kid who wants to self-delete himself.
Tenfold, we're all secure here. No need to send further response. Jesus Christ, what's going on? We got a kid about to jump off the building. He made a post online saying goodbye.
This nigga sounds like that one dude who was trying to end his life from that one Smiling Friends episode, bro. I remember when this movie came out, and a lot of the main reactions and criticisms for this particular scene were mainly talking about how they break the 180-degree rule a lot during this scene, which, if you didn't know what it was, is basically like an unwritten kind of rule that a lot of filmmakers follow when they want to shoot scenes between two characters facing each other. Like, I myself wasn't fully aware of what the 180-degree rule was initially at first too. And after researching about it and looking it up, it actually did help me understand what to look for in other future films when it came to shit like bad filmography. But I felt like even if you had literally no idea about what this rule even was, you could still point out how unbelievably shitty the film it looks throughout this whole entire scene. Like, for example, when Superman flies to the top of the building to prevent the kid from self-deleting himself, Superman is on the right side and the kid's on the left side. Then we get some random flashback where Clark's dad is talking to some random ass middle-aged man with a backwards hat, and when the flashback ends, this nigga Clark Kent switches to the left side and the kid is on the right now. Like, bro.
Well, that's a really nice story, but what's your point? I mean, where were you when I was getting the shit beaten out of me my whole life? Where were you when my mom got gunned down in a drive-by?
Like, nah, dead ass
Right.
though. One thing that I found pretty funny about this whole scene was just how awful the execution was with the message that this entire scene was trying to tell us. It's pretty obvious that the point that they're trying to go for is trying to make someone like Superman relate to a human being and the things that human beings go through, but the way they did it was just like so dumb. Like,
You wouldn't understand.
You'd be surprised. Try me.
Being afraid. Hey, you wouldn't understand just being afraid.
y'all want to know how Superman tried to relate to this nigga when he said that shit? Fighting fucking Brainiac. Yeah, like a kid who wants to jump off a building and just told you that his mother just got blicked down can relate to the time he fought a multi-planetary level threat. And also another thing I want to add, but like, why does the Brainiac in this scene look almost exactly like the Piccolo from Dragon Ball Evolution? I can't lie though, the beginning of this fight scene actually didn't look half as bad though. One thing I was very worried about when it comes to this movie was how the fight scenes were going to look, and I immediately assumed it was going to be terrible due to the rest of the damn movie being terrible, but they actually made this fight look somewhat decent. Granted, they weren't actually using the actual actors to fight and it was all VFX, but you know, with a short film that got a $20,000 budget, sometimes you're forced to cut corners and that's perfectly fine. Bruh, did they just go on YouTube and just type in slap sound effect for this part, bro? The CGI background of the desert terrain is obviously pretty bad, but honestly, I feel like at this point, complaining about the CGI in this movie really just feels like I'm actually just beating a dead horse for it. So I guess Superman telling the kid the story of when he fought Brainiac somehow works and the kid ends up, you know, not deleting his lifespan. And at that point, that's basically the end of the movie. Oh shit. I forgot to mention that there's this little subplot in the movie where Clark is like trying to be like not unemployed. I mean, it doesn't really go anywhere important. I just wanted to bring it up because like I'm curious on why the room that Clark gets hired in is so dark and gloomy. Like bro, I kind of do pretty much get the message that the directors were trying to go for when they made this film, and you can tell that they tried to make this movie have a lot of heart. But to me, that honestly doesn't really fit as a good excuse for someone like me or anyone else to not call it a bad movie still. Like if you made me a meal and this meal tastes bad, but I guess you put a lot of heart and effort into making the meal, then I mean, like, I appreciate the meal, but it still tastes like ass. Like, there's no changing that. Like, the whole racist controversy behind this movie did kind of tarnish the director's reputation a little bit, because it's not like they can't improve on things when they can make other movies in the future. But I feel like due to all that drama, people are still going to watch all their other future stuff with a biased view and probably still hate on it. But honestly, I was looking through the comment section after I watched this movie to see if there were people trashing the movie, and all the comments seemed pretty positive, which honestly surprised me a little bit, not gonna lie. So, like, I guess the KKK members came to support their fellow comrade before the haters got to this movie first. Like, alright, I'm just kidding though. And speaking of the director making feature films, this movie actually has an end credit scene that might tease there being a Superman Solar 2. You know, I can't lie, I am pretty seething for that. And this time they're hinting at the main villain being Lex Luthor now, which interesting about that is that the actor playing Lex is actually a real actor who's been in actual theatrical films. And if y'all think I'm trolling, I'm being so dead ass. Like, bro, this nigga was cast in the original 1978 Superman movies and fucking Man of Steel. Like, this nigga really went from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel to being shitty Lex Luthor and Superman Solar. Like, there's also another scene at the end of the movie where it's teasing another Superman Solar sequel, but with Batman involved now. Like, the directors are actually like really short out here, man. Superman Solar 2 might actually be one for the books here. I saw a tweet online when I was making this video where they leaked like the supposed Batman suit that they were making for the potential Superman Solar sequel, and like, I really don't even got too much to say about the design. Like, it's pretty much self-explanatory here.